Greetings, beloveds. It's Amy Caryn Johnson back with another message from Mother Earth, Gaia. Today, the message is going to include some astrology and some movement as well, Infinite Movement and Stillness, as I have shared a couple videos ago. And I wanted to explain that Gaia is wanting me to share her messages through more just me rather than directly through channeled from her, so that I can share how I've incorporated them into my life more with you, because that's almost as important as her messages themselves. So as far as astrology and the different energies this week, later this week, Mercury is going to be moving on from the gate of coming to meet, hexagram 44, to the gate 28, which has to do with critical mass, and there will be more of a focus on the head. We'll have a little less energy, some of those power struggles, some of that anger that we may have been picking up on for the last week or so will dissipate a little bit more, but we will be still in our heads quite a bit, and I'll share an image that kind of helps illustrate that from human design. And so as we get into our heads a bit more, we tend to do a little more work sitting, focusing on our computers, focusing on books. Sometimes we end up focusing sitting driving, and because everybody's going by at such fast speeds and there's so many other cars out there, we really have to focus, and it tends to make us hold our heads forward and cause a lot of tension in our necks and shoulders. Excuse me. So the movement that I'm going to share will help us with that. And the concept behind it, there are a couple different concepts behind it. The first one is that we are leaning into the discomfort that we might feel, almost like we're giving it a hug, we're embracing it. And just by gently leaning into it, gently embracing that discomfort, you help wake those muscles up to the tension that they've been holding, and therefore you can more easily release that tension. And that concept really does actually come from Thomas Hanna, who wrote about somatics. That is sort of how our body learns to release tension, is by feeling what it feels like to contract a little bit and then feeling that release and that contrast. Another type of contrast that he talks about with somatics is comparing one side after you've done a movement to the other side before you've done that movement on that other side. And by showing your brain the difference, it can say, oh, that's what it's like to relax. Okay, I can do that over there too. So again, I want to remind you that if you choose to do the movements with me, you accept complete responsibility for your body, for the movements, and know that these are supposed to be gentle movements. They're supposed to generally feel good. Even if you're leaning into a little discomfort, it's still not supposed to be painful. So accept responsibility for that and do what you feel is best for your body. Okay, so don't forget to breathe as we do these movements. I'll talk you through what I'm going to do, and then I'll do it. I'll show you. I'm going to breathe in as I begin a little bit of a head circle, and I'm going to focus on my left side first. In addition to the head circle, I'm also going to do shoulder circles, and I will do 5 circles in one direction and 5 circles in the opposite direction. I will also change directions with my head as well as my shoulder. And as I inhale, it'll be more so as I release the movement, and I will exhale as I make more of the contraction. And so the focus will be more on the contraction rather than the extension. It's not really supposed to be a big stretch necessarily. It's more feeling those muscles do some work. excuse me, we have a lot of smoke here in Colorado, so I'm having some of that having to be cleared fairly often. Okay, so breathing in and then beginning a little bit of a contraction. I'm going to start in this direction with my shoulder and head moving back, breathing out as I contract, and then as I bring it around, breathing in again. And another circle. Nice and slow. Doesn't have to be a big movement, just enough to feel muscles contracting a little. And last one in this direction. And switching directions. This direction feels a little bit less natural to me. So if you are struggling, feel free to slow down, and you can always pause the video. And last one. All right, now that we've done 10 circles on the left side, or at least my left side, you may have done your right side, that's fine. Just pause for a moment, close your eyes if that feels okay, and just notice any differences you might feel between the two sides. For me, my left side feels like that shoulder is able to drop down a little bit more, a little more relaxed. No judgment, just observing. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the other side. If you're not ready, feel free to pause and unpause when you are ready. So again, breathing out as I contract, coming back around, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and switching directions. And that's 5 for me, so pause again, check in. And now I do feel as though I'm relaxing more on both sides. It's a good feeling, pretty simple movement with some pretty effective results. So thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Please like, love, share this video with friends. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to continue getting these. I will try to keep putting them out about once a week. Thanks again for joining me. Namaste, beloveds.